thank you for joining us once again. Rivers peace is coming, and Fubara has said, in all I've been doing, dear Rivers people, it is with your best interest at heart. It was never mine. Do you think there is truth to that?
Yes, I think there is truth to that. We normally say there's no price that is too much for peace to reign.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, at the beginning, the fight would have been fought differently. I've always said it.
Yeah.
Since the president did follow constitutional line, even though he quoted Section 305, he should have also stand his ground. But since he caved in, he needed, and everybody has called on the president to rescind this state of emergency, and he didn't hear the call. He had to take what he had to take, and he made mention of so many other things. He said, look, the work we are doing has stalled. It's not moving forward. But don't also forget, earlier on, he said that, do you think I am better than who I used to be? Do you understand? He said, so this thing is not about myself. And, you know, in my earlier rendition, I said something. I said, we are looking for not just about rivers. This thing is not just about rivers. You can't take our democracy to the cleaners and make it look as if there's no democracy in Nigeria. Before you know it, we'll be back to where we're coming from. Military rule and a lot of so many things. So I think the peace is good. Do you understand? It's only when you stay there you can talk. If you are not there, you cannot talk.
All right,
and you cannot affect a lot of things.
In the spirit of peace, Fubara also reminded his followers not to forget the critical role played by Wike, you know, that led to him becoming a governor in the first place. And there is no way you can erase that from the history. Do you think he's realizing too late?
No, he's not realizing too late. He knows that it's the known fact, and it's something he lives with.
How do you think he's not realizing too late if after knowing that somebody played a role you can't erase from the history, you decided to bite the finger that fed you?
Because you're my parent, you brought me to this art, doesn't mean you control me 100%.
Okay, how many percent is reasonable?
So I'm aware you're my parent.
Yeah.
I'm aware you brought me up.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you must choose a wife for me, tell me how many children
So
I
what
must
can I
have.
choose? What can I choose for you?
There should be a limit which I'm meddling in my life.
All right.
That's just what it is here. And again, I feel I'm indifferent. I don't know how I'm feeling about River State because I don't know the price paid for this. I don't know. They say there's no price too high for peace. That statement is not very correct.
It's not.
I chop off my head for peace. I won't be allowed to enjoy the peace. So what price is River State paying? As well as say, it's not about Fubara. This fight, Fubara and Wiki, they are one and the same.
They have always been.
So it's not about Fubara. It's about Nigeria. It's about this repeating itself in Abia State. It's about this happening in Lagos State. So we need to address this now. What is price River State is paying? I thank God, Fubara have seen the anxiety about his supporters. Everybody is anxious. Everybody wants to know, what have you considered? What have you paid to arrive at this place? So we should understand this. And it pains me that the people that knows law, they said the Supreme Court has their template. It means that this case has not been determined. What do we know? Why do we need to be determined? So going forward, we know that president has the power to remove a sitting, an elected governor. Even the state of emergency, I don't have a problem with that. But he on sitting elected governor, on sitting elected house. We need to know this.
Because I know where you are trying to drive at. Jonathan declared state of emergency in 3 northern states, and no governor was removed. The governors were still functioning as governors. That is where he's driving at. But beyond that, Fubara admitted that some of this new resolution could be painful, particularly to those who have stood beside him during the turbulence, but that the larger gain of peace and stability is more. This is a clear admission of the fact that there is a trade-off. there is a sacrifice. What could this sacrifice be? Like he said, I've always believed personally on that. Saying there's no price too much to pay for peace, I think there is. If you're going to pay with your life, the peace is worthless. You understand? So, and at the end of the day, what is peace? What you call peace, if it is making me a slave, that is what you call peace, then it's not going to work. So, but at the end of the day, he said for the larger gain, for peace and stability, what is it that they see as stability in Rivers State? Is it where the federal government have to be in control of an independent state government, or where a godfather has to be the one running the state architecture? What is it? What does peace look like to these people?
First of all, let me start from the side of the judiciary that he talked about. I don't agree with Philip when he said...
There's no Philip here.
No, he's a member of this team. Because of what he has said prior.
Okay.
Philip said, we don't know what's going on.
Finally, he's not here to defend what you are saying.
Yes, that's why I want to catch him by the tail.
But he's not here.
It doesn't matter. We come back. You know, that we don't know what they are filing, what the judiciary, blah, 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 the processes. You have an emergency. You must take an emergency decision.
Expedite the action.
Action must be expedited. Till now, Dagogo Jack has filed.
Well, unfortunately, if I remember what Philip said, which is true,
Yes.
Dates of hearing,
Yes.
and court processes or whatever is at the convenience of the court, and that is our law.
This is a matter of emergency.
Your emergency is at the convenience of the court, and that is our
We
law.
agree. When the court, will they be sitting if there are no people anymore?
No, that's what we are saying.
That's
No,
what-
but if not, why you Philip was only explaining to you that it is our law. Philip is not saying that they should or they shouldn't have fixed the date.
No, that law.
You know, I want you to remain within yourself.
No, that law. I always know where you go. You are Philip. Comparing to law.
Oh, yeah.
The law serves human. The
Yeah.
law doesn't serve itself.
Yeah.
So the
Now
law.
you can change your law. That is the beautiful part of it.
That's why we are talking about
Yes.
it. That's why we are talking about it. You know. So now, in looking for peace in Rivers,
Yeah.
now Rivers people will now know that you can't give exclusive powers to a particular individual at a particular time, because when he was governing in Rivers, that's Wike, it looks as if he was the alpha and the omega.
He was.
Now it has come. He also will still want to gain influence. He's not the only one that has been governor of Rivers State before. And like I said, there have been Rufus Adajot, there have been Peter Odili, there have been Rotimi Amechi. I mean, in a democratic setting, we've seen these people. He can't say that he built the structure.
Okay, I know very well you are worried about precedents and escalation of this kind of things into other states. But sincerely, it didn't start with Wiki. I mean, let me tell you, I remember sometime, is it Ladoja in Oyo State? I remember one correspondent asking Power Adedibu that they should calm down with this fracas with Ladoja, the then governor of Oyo State, that went to elephant fight. Is the grass that suffer. Pade the Buse say keep quiet, that Ladoja is not an elephant.
Okay, but where's that?
Why don't we show the man now? Say keep quiet. Ladoja is not an elephant.
So where's that Edibu now?
Maybe Fubara is not an elephant.
Maybe he's not. But my issue is in here.
Power is transient.
Power is transient.
Edibu
And even human, our own life.
It's transient.
But you know what he said now? He said the projects they've stalled and the pace are going down. It's slow. Who told that his pace is going to pick up? Wike said something. Amechi said something, and we're discounting it. He said whenever I see Wike fight, there's money involved. So how do we not know that it's not Rivers money that would have used to expedite those projects that has been divided, that be used for settlement, if we're taking Amechi's word? So until Rivers people knows the price they are paying for this so-called peace, it will be done on them when he comes back that the federal state might have nothing to sponsor this project. They might not have enough to pay do overhead.
Well, okay, let me come to you. If we discountenance or discard Amechi's presupposition that it could be issues of money, and it happens to be that Wike is only interested in political alignment, okay, maybe where Fubara have to work, in tandem, because Wike, as a PDP governor, delivered Asiwaju. So what if all Wike is really looking for is a situation where Fubara will position himself to deliver Asiwaju because he is serving as a minister under Asiwaju? If that is the price and all they want him to do you think that is too much of a price?
That is not the price. But
I'm saying
Fubara has consistently said that he support Tinubu.
But if that is the price, do you think it's much?
It's not much, but that is not the price. To me, that is not even the price. But every other governor has pledged allegiance to
Some have
Tinubu.
even decamped.
So they pledge allegiance to. That's not the price.
Delivery that you talk about most of the time, the governors don't have more than one vote.
They don't have, but
Let me control the structure in the states.
No, that is the outcome. Leave the outcome. It's about you supporting him. Yes.
Now, in supporting him, how many of the river people stood with Fubara?
But you,
In so many other ways that they could have stood, how many of them, at the particular point they needed that support, all of them tucked their tail under their
but you can't force
leg.
them to support Fubara. Maybe they actually indeed support Wike.
So let Fubara take his own way that he will come out of the crisis.
And that is what he has done.
Exactly. So he's
Right.
I'm okay.
So-
I'm good
so
with
there's
it.
no need laying.
Those
I'm home and dry with
those
you.
ones that are on the street every day protesting, what happens to them?
What happened to them?
He's talking about majority.
Majority. We are talking about
So
majority.
eventually,
Not
Father,
majority.
let
And
me
the
tell
highest
you, Father, that
stakeholders.
Fubara might have taken the best decision because democracy is still a game of numbers.
Yes.
All right. This is still News Insight. We'll be right back very shortly.